Hi guys, so in this video here we're going to do some very simple scalping. And what we're going to do, guys, is I'm trading with £10 stakes. Up here you can see I've got the global setting set here, so you can see this little icon here, global, is on. So here you can see fixed stakes, and I've got an offset of 1, and you can see I've just got an offset bet here. And that's it. Okay. So if I'm going to go ahead of the curve, and I'm going to position myself ahead of potential drifts or prices coming in. Okay. So let's go ahead and place myself here. So I'll go on the 4 here, and the 4-1, 4-2, and down here as well. You can see the traded range here is quite big on this horse here. You can see right as we speak is drifting out quite heavily, right? So what I'll do here is I'll probably just go all the way along here, purely because you can see it has drifted off quite heavily in the last few minutes. It is going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and I'm quite happy to scalp this. Also because you can see here, there's still 7 minutes to go, quite a long time to go, so I'm quite happy to do that. And then for the other horses here, what I can do is I can position myself sort of on the outskirts of the various ranges. So up here, for example, this is again quite a long range here. I can, for argument's sake, just place myself here, just to get ahead of the queue. So if or when it does come up here, I can know I'm ahead there to get that positioning. And the good thing about using offsets is the fact that while I'm looking at other horses and trading and so on, you can see the bets here being placed automatically for me, which means I can take my eye off it for a little bit as well. And if I bring it over here, you can see. And because here you can see this horse has been drifting quite heavily for the last 3 minutes, right? Again, there's a reasonable chance here it's going to dip back down again a little bit, purely because of just the way the market flows, right? And so I'm quite happy to leave this here because again, small stakes, right? So it's not a big deal because the small stakes means you become more relaxed because you're not chasing the money and so on. Okay. And so what I'll do in the meantime is for the second favorite here, again, what I'll do is I'll put myself sort of on the top end here, on the outskirts of this sort of most matched bets here. I'll also place a couple here around the 4 mark because it's a natural resistance point. And also I'll also put a few here on the 3-7, 3-8. Because again, that is sort of at the bottom of its main traded range here. So again, here you can see it gets taken straight away, and hopefully that'll get matched as well, right? And so yeah, so again, I'll just leave this here for now, and I'll keep an eye on it. And the good thing is because I'm trading with very small stakes, like here you can see now it's racing away from me here. And had I been doing £100 stakes or £200 stakes, just put a nice 0 behind that, and suddenly you start panicking a little bit, right? But again, I'm quite happy to wait here now just to see what happens here. You can see this one here is about to cross over the 4 with a few minutes left here until we hit the 5-minute mark. Means that at the 5-minute mark, we're going to get the heavy hitters. The market picks up really fast and so on. Okay. So again, I'll leave this here for now purely because, again, guys, you can see this here. I've drifted so far out. And my indication is that, or my sort of inclination is that at the 5-minute mark, what's going to happen is this is going to correct itself pretty drastically, purely because the value proposition here is huge. Okay, so in fact, I'll probably put my mouth my money where my mouth is. I'm going to turn off the global thing here, and I'll take. Come here, and I'll take £100 here, and I'll pop it in here on the backside here because I am anticipating a huge correction here on this the original favourite. Okay, so hopefully that will get taken. You can see here now the second favourite is crashing in here. But like I mentioned here at the 5-minute mark, I'm imagining this will correct itself in due course. So hopefully this gets taken. It'll be very annoying if I'm right and it doesn't take the full 100. But that happens quite a lot when because I am talking and trading at the same time, which can be a little bit distracting, right? So again, all I can do now is really just wait and see what happens. What I can do is just remove these 2 here from this horse here, just to avoid any unnecessary distractions. Equally, because it's right down here at the bottom of the range, it's very unlikely to go back out to 10s. So you can see here now my trade's been taken here. And I'll come down here and I'll pop in a few exit points just to get myself out nice and gradually. And again, I'll be patient here. I'll wait and give us a few minutes. because you can see here, this here is now approaching the freeze, which is a natural resistance point anyway. And also you can see here, the second favorite only has 30% of the market, whereas the favorite has 41%. So again, I'm quite happy to say that this should correct itself in a few minutes. But you know, all we can do is wait and see how it goes, right? And this here is also a very good lesson for you watching, that whenever you're trading two opposing horses, obviously you can very quickly end up in this kind of very negative situation where you basically you get it wrong on both of them, and both of them go against you, and you're basically doubling down your losses, right? So whenever you do this, then you need to kind of own that decision and be aware of it before you start, so that when or if the trade goes against you, you realize that the chances are both horses will go in red, and you're basically sort of doubling down your losses, and you're doubling down the problem there. But on the flip side of that, if it goes well, then obviously you're doubling down your profit, because if both horses go the way you hope they will, then that's always going to benefit you. But as long as you kind of own that decision, so when you enter the trade and you're actually in the trade, don't get emotional, because it's this decision or choice you made entering the market when you decided to trade two opposing horses. Okay. And so fast forward a few minutes here, we can see there's only 1 minute left, or 2 minutes left on our clock. You can see now it has started to correct itself here. You can see this the favorite here is now settling down on the 4.3. There's a lot of money being matched here, and the second favorite has bounced off number 3 here. And so again here, you know, it's unfortunate that this is heavily in red. But again, guys, you know, for me, I'm quite happy to leave this now, because I'm quite confident this here should come down again here and just touch below 4 before the race goes off. In fact, I'll probably hop in here with another 100 purely because I'm very confident that this will happen, just because of the flow of the market. Tells me that this here has now settled, and because it's been drifting and drifting out, as you can see, right, in the last few minutes here, I do feel it's going to come back in again just for a few moments, as the backers come in and start heavily backing the original favourites. Okay, and so what I'll do here is I'll probably just drag this down here and just sort of get out of this this trade here, just to, you know, have a less cluttered sort of emotional opinion about this. And I'll take this loss here, because I'm assuming that this one here will come down, and we'll see how this pans out. And also you can see the horses are now lining up, so I'll keep an eye on that as well, because in the last few seconds here, you know, depending on where the horses line up, that will in itself have a huge impact on this price here as well. And you can see now, as I mentioned, you know, it's now touching the 4. And depending on where they line up now, this could work in my favour, right? But as you can see now, they are lining up. They are actually, you know, getting ready to go. So yeah, suppose I'll now sort of drag this up here, just, you know, just basically get out, as it were, before the race starts. But I am keeping an eye on the feed, so I can see what's happening there. So it's all good in that sense. Okay. So well, here I'll just pop out here just to get out of this trade. And so yes, now you can see, so now I'm in, I can either leave this here, and if the favourite wins, I win £51, or I can sort of green up here for a £9 profit. So to be honest, I'll probably just do that, purely because it's just simpler. And given the fact that it's a very large field, right, so the chances of the favourite winning, you know, we'll see, but that's how that goes. So you can see here, guys, you know, this kind of example is the fact that once you start to learn how the market flows, as it were, right? They're now off, okay, but obviously I'm no longer in this trade. Let me just focus in here on these two, the favorites here and the second favorite, right? If you actually look at the market, you can see how this one here drifted out. But once it hits sort of 4.3, whatever, you can see the 8,000 here, it was heavily matched there, and it settled in. And what happens is, in that last sort of minute or two of the race before the race starts, there is a solidifying of the market a lot of times, where the market sort of flatlines and corrects itself briefly before the off. One key point here was the fact that of the way they were lining up. Okay. And you can see here the favorite, this one here, it was lining up towards the front, right? And I can see that. So I knew that there was a reasonable chance that the backers were going to start backing the favourite, or the original favourite, Shady Operator, because of the fact that it was going in play and it was a very good price because it was at the 4.2, 4.3 mark. And obviously that's a nice crossover point there as well. But the point being that the market solidified, right? And I just followed my gut and my experience with trading, and I had a very strong suspicion that there was a very good high likelihood that this horse here would correct itself. And you can see here, I completely messed up my entry and so on this one here, right? Because it went heavily against me, but I had the opposing trade on the favorite here, right, on the original favorite. So I knew that I was covered either way because you can see they were opposing each other. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and please do subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.